We have a trade. All right.
Oh boy.
This is much better than Jericho Sims. No disrespect. All right. New Orleans Pelicans. This is from Chris Haynes. So this is one of the credible reporters. I'm not going to get on the soapbox about reporting now, although I probably should, because some people don't have media literacy. A lot of people don't have media literacy in 2025. Chris Haynes, breaking. New Orleans Pelicans are in advanced discussions to trade Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. League sources tell me. Because Chris Haynes is independent right now, though he'll likely be at NBC or Amazon soon. Guys, what do we think about Brandon Ingram going to the Raptors? We're going to get more details on this. This seemed like it was a competitive battle between the Hawks and the Raptors. The Hawks who are trying to fill the Jalen Johnson void. Jarod, I already know you're not going to like this. I don't think Candace is going to like this either, just judging by the look on y'all faces.
Sorry, we're not very good at hiding how we feel about this. Listen, New Orleans, I see you, New Orleans. I see the vision. The rebuild is on now, my friends. Zion, you the next one out the door, my guy. Like, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, for real, what are we doing?
Zion Williamson's contract, by the way, has some outs. I've talked about this before. Dean with the comment. This is funny. Comments, questions, super chats, all welcomed. And thank you to the people watching. There are many, but a lot of people are afraid to comment. Don't be. We will talk. All I can say is why. Very succinct. Candace, I have a feeling this is your question.
I have the same question. I don't know why. New Orleans it feels like this is like the first domino to fall. I mean, the trade deadline is only so close to right now. So like, I'm curious to see how many other deals they could really get off between now and then. But yeah, that's a big one. That is a big move. These are two of the most random teams that I could have expected him to be like rumored to go to between Atlanta and Toronto. Good for Toronto for getting in on it and like being proactive, I guess. I don't know if this is like forgive me because I know very little about the new CBA as it pertains to.
It's fine.
Just, yeah, the aprons, all of that stuff. I try my best, but I'm assuming this is some sort of move in relation to that for Toronto. I don't know if this is them just like helping to facilitate anything or if they're legitimately looking at him as a really great, I guess, veteran to bring into their locker room since they have so many young guys on that team. And Bruce Brown.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think Bruce Brown may be part of this. So they pulled out of getting Kyle Anderson in that Heat, Wiggins, Jimmy Butler trade. I almost called it the Andrew Wiggins trade, although I think Greg would call it the Andrew Wiggins trade.
At least tonight.
But, yes.
Here's the thing, Brian, really quick. BI's contract is expiring this year.
Yes, I was going to
free agent.
That's where I'm going.
So if he's actually going to Toronto, that means Toronto's got designs on extending him because, right? Otherwise, New Orleans would have been like, well, we're just going to wait, whatever, but they don't want to let him go for free, right? Let's get something back in return. But essentially, it's a salary dump for New Orleans, right? They're going to get back whatever they get back, which won't be, whatever it is. And then Toronto's going to extend him. Do I think he makes sense in Toronto with Scotty Barnes and Quickly and RJ and
right?
And you got a lot of. I mean, look, you know me. I'm all about 6'7" and above. No offense to short people,
which all of us are.
which all of us are. But you know what I mean. In the NBA, I love literally nothing but tall people. I'm all for that. But the fit seems kind of clunky and weird to me. But whatever.
Okay. I have a guess on what the return is. Just looking at the contract. So Brandon Ingram is making $36 million this year. I think this is going to be Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk. Bruce Brown is at 23. Kelly Olynyk is at 12.8 and then 13.4 next year. It seems reasonable. Kelly Olynyk is super malleable. Like he can play with a bunch of guys in New Orleans, independent of whether or not Zion's going to be part of their future, I feel like. And when you look at Bruce Brown's expiring, yeah, okay, New Orleans could take him, potentially flip him. Like I do wonder if this is part of a larger deal. We actually got asked a question if the Heat are going to be involved. I don't know, and that's interesting because the Heat seemingly were involved with the Raptors a little while ago, but then Masai pulled out to do this. So I guess my main thing is are Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk going to New Orleans, or is this going to be expanded like many things have been, because the CBA is kind of forcing a lot of 3 and 4 and 5 team deals. Even the Luka trade we talked about was a 3-teamer. The Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, we still don't know if it's 4 teams or 5 teams or potentially 6 teams. Like we don't have the final version of the deal. We just know all the main characters. And then as it pertains to this specific deal, is Brandon Ingram actually going to like be with Toronto long term? And if so, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Jakob Porto,
right.
I guess.
Right.
What are you trying to do there?
But the thing is, even if you're Toronto, right, and you're like, all right, we're gonna take a gamble on them, like, but y'all are 16 and whatever you are. It's not like you're making some kind of playoff push.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of gamble you taking on this, like on the last 30 games of the season?
Gail says,
right?
Gail says I'm giggly as hell. Is that an accusation, Gail? You trying to say that I'm on? No, I'm good. I'm drinking water.
So
I'm very excited to be doing this. I love the trade deadline. It's really all it is.
I don't know, but I do know this. What we're seeing too, folks, is a lot of teams, and I believe that owners are giving directives to the GMs. You got to shed salary, right? Yes. And get us below the level that we're at right now. So whether it be we're in the second apron, get us into the first apron. If we're at the first, get us below the first apron. If we're like, that's what GMs are telling owners, telling GMs. You got to shed some salary because we are spending way too much money on a product that, frankly, ain't great.
New Orleans also has CJ McCollum at 33.3 and then 30.7 with rounding next year, which is a tradable contract. Don't know if they'll be able to do that. But first of all, I love what this could do for Trey Murphy, who begins his extension next year. And Trey Murphy is going to be making 25 to 27, 29, and 31. He got his extension. He's got a lot of money coming to him. But like, this is going to open things up for him further. If you've been watching the Pelicans, if you haven't, just fine. It's totally fine. But if you're a sicko like me, if you're a sicko like me who's been watching the Pelicans or have Trey Murphy on your fantasy team or both, he's been doing very well lately.
It's awesome.
So I wonder what that's going to be. All right, we actually got a trade during if we get more details, we'll pass those along, because I think it's an interesting trade from the standpoint of like what the hell the Raptors are doing. But for the Pelicans, you kind of see the vision. It's like, all right, get something for Brandon Ingram and open things up for some of the other young guys that you have on the roster who you like, which also includes Jordan Hawkins, who is on a rookie scale contract, who they like. And DeJounte Murray's out with a torn Achilles, so it's pretty much a wrap for that season.